You just threw it back in your salad.
I know. I'll take your med pack and dustman.
Give it.
That's a complicated, and I can really appreciate it.
Rocky, everything in this game was really well done. And I'll say it right now. People are going to get mad, but I'll say it. I'm happy we didn't get Advanced War 2 and got this instead.
I don't feel bad that you picked it.
Which
Grew up brainwashed, thinking that I always was a lost cause. In spite of that, never cared what they said, the lies they fed. Call me the person that I am today. Call us the ones who tryna be the way. Call me not based on your opinion. We don't care why we follow this absurd thing. I am not alone. We are millions of words for us to create our own world. We can choose our fun to be just what we want.
Oh, alright, well, I see you're back for another unpopular opinion. I was going to do a different topic this time, kind of a sequel to what I did before, but decided to let that sit for now and do something more lighthearted. Hear that? Yeah. Ooh, you may have been able to get away from me this time, but ooh, this close, buddy. Oh, I'm coming after you next. You can sit there with your mustard-ass yellow logo, but I swear next time, you're mine. Oh, buddy, you're mine. So, until we get to that topic, I decided to do a more simpler one. And today we're just going to pull out 3 games that I really love, that I think are great, but people seem to shit on and hate. Opinions that I don't agree with in the slightest. So, let's jump into it. I chose this one first because it seems to be a little more lukewarm with people. Either people really despise this game, or they respect it and think it's fine and it does tell a good story. And that game is Death Stranding. Literally my favorite game of the year this came out. When this came out, this was my favorite game of that entire year, just based on how fun that story was. Yes, Death Stranding. I'm not even kidding when I say this. This game was beyond impressive to me. Now, yes, this will be a shocking fact to many, but I do not like Hideo Kojima's games. I was not a fan the slightest of the Metal Gear games. I genuinely find them either way too silly or goddamn boring. And I'm not a fan of Metal Gear. I mean, the only Metal Gear I like is the one that wasn't made by him, Metal Gear Rising. So I wasn't excited for this game at all. I literally ignored it. And then a buddy of mine wanted it to try out because he's a huge horror game fan and it looked like it would be spooky to him. So we got it, we played it together, and I was really impressed with this one. I didn't want anything to do with it until finally, after I saw him play through half of it, I got interested and curious, and I picked it up myself and decided to play through it, and I do not regret the decision. Yes, you're right, you do just deliver stuff in the game. You do just walk a lot. That is true. But even that in its own way gets addictive. The music that plays throughout the game is downright beautiful. Some of the most melancholy and peacefully made songs I've ever heard in my life that really make you think more about the whole point of all this. A story that is written so beautifully that by the end of it, at that last moment, I genuinely grew teary-eyed. And let me tell you, for those who know me, that is rare for me to get emotional over a game story, and this one is one of the small few who have made that list. And the gameplay, I found it addictive. Yes, you just deliver stuff, but the way you do it is addictive to me. I love that you can choose, let's build little bases, build generators to help your tools to get to places faster. Hey, just build a road to get from one destination to the other. Make ropes and ladders and other things so we could build our pathway. I mean, I got very addictive at trying to find certain ways I could balance my ladders just right to get up a mountain or get across a little ravine or something where I won't fall over and lose my packages. Like, it really got into me. I mean, even when I beat the game, I still will sometimes put it on once in a while just to do a few runs, deliver a few packages, because they still have it just open world after where you just take on jobs left and right. And even then I pop in still wanting to play more. I love the way you get to it, and this game is literally the equivalent of that one quote. The quote of, it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. And that's what this game is. Literally the journey of how you get from point A to point B is what makes the game so addictive. How I place my ladders, how I use my tools, how I crouch and stayed away from the creatures trying to pull you down, how I was able to calm the baby, and how I was able to fight off other people that were trying to steal my shit, and what I built along the way to make my next few trips easier. It's really addictive yet simple, which is something I've always admired. I've always had a huge love for simple games, and this one fits that. With a story that's so impactful, huge, and has so much going on, this is a game I would gladly put on my list of best games I've ever played in my life. Such a beauty of a game. I'm not even kidding, I've seen the trailers for Death Stranding 2 coming out soon, and it looks fine, but it doesn't feel like this one. With Death Stranding 1, there was always twists and turns. It kept getting deeper and deeper. The story ended up being something far more personal that really made you emote. When the second game, from what I've seen, just feels like it's going to be a typical run-of-the-mill, the villain is coming back. Literally just, hey, the throwaway villain from the first game is coming back and beat the bad guy. Maybe I'm wrong, and hopefully it'll be like this one where it ends up delving and being a much bigger story, but from what I'm seeing, this game did not need a sequel. It was perfect the way it was, and they could have just left it at that. Alright, time to load on to the next entry. Okay, now the next entry is one that I have such a huge soft spot for. I'm not even kidding, this next one I love so much. And no, I don't have a physical copy of this one to show you. I ended up getting this game years later after it was already done and gone, and ended up getting it for dirt cheap, no joke, literally $3 on the PlayStation Store, so I have it digitally. But this beauty, this game that I think would have saved these guys, that I think they should have gone all out with, is Volition's Agents of Mayhem. Oh yeah, you knew I was gonna go there. Now yes, I won't lie. Yes, Agents of Mayhem is nowhere near as good as the Saints Row games, I will admit that. It's not even as good as their Punisher game, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Just because this game didn't have an online system and didn't have what people eat off today, didn't ruin it for me. I ignored this game, and the funny thing is I ignored it when it came out because I thought it was an online game. I genuinely thought from the cover and the multiple characters and the system that this was an online only game, and any games that are online only, or are built in that system, I immediately stay away from like they're the goddamn plague. When it comes to me, the only games I enjoy are games that are story, fun, arcadey, and just pure addictive fun just for me, and those who want to split screen with me. I've always preferred local play and doing it on my own. So when I found out later that this wasn't an online game, it actually was just a straight up one player only story game, I immediately decided, hey, it's on sale for $3, I'll pick it up, and I am so glad I did. To this day, I have grown so addicted to this game. I will pop it on and off once in a while. I've been really wanting to play through the story again from the start just because I found that addictive, and just it feels like the classic days before they turned into what they turned into. The comedy is hilarious.
It had been just another glorious day on the set of my critically acclaimed show, Bound by Law, No Escape. My star was rising fast, but then it all ended with a freak accident.
The enemies you fight are on point. The gameplay, though simple and done in a Fortnite format, is very addictive. I actually grew addictive to learning which teammates work with who and what combos best work to take down enemies. It's fun, it's fast-paced, it is the pure definition of arcade fun. If you want a game that's arcadey, bouncy, and there just to blow up dudes and go through a silly story, then this is for you. Now yes, this game, whole idea was to be a parody of G.I. Joe. You know, that cartoon we all grew up with, remember? Like how we all had the toys?
Nowhere to come Cobra. Nowhere to come Cobra.
Okay, fine, I didn't really have the toys or watch the show growing up, but I had family from back then who knew about it and told me everything there is to know about it, so I know about G.I. Joe, and yeah, this world fits for it. I genuinely wish they went down this direction and would have been better than what they did next. Pop in Age of Man if you can, it is great. No joke, I genuinely wish they just went all out with this game. I wish we got Age of Mayhem 2. I wish it kept going. I would have rather, and I think people would now, I would have rather they ended up making Age of Mayhem 2 instead of the fucking stupid piece of shit.
I've told you before, the idols are trying to build a post-capitalist society where money is not a concept.
Yeah? Then why don't you go run off and join the comic?
I'm into showering. Are you gonna help me with the waffle maker or not?
Yeah, that. I just love Ages of Mayhem. It's a great game, and I really wish they kept to it. But not as much as I wish they kept going with this next game, my final entry for today. Keep an open mind while this next loading screen happens. Now this last one, no joke, I really wanted to be another one. One of my favorite PlayStation originals of all time. Oh yeah, I mean it. I've seen the stupid-ass shit AngryJoe review of it where he goes way too hard on it. I've seen everyone's thoughts on it, but this game is so damn good. Dude, what can I say about this golden beauty? I remember I picked up this game when it was dirt cheap for only $10 off line, and I only got it because I went through a new system. Years ago when I used to watch AngryJoe before I realized his channel's a joke, no offense.
This is not how I wanted to do it.
Come on, you're attacking me on the independent game, which is not what it is this year. You're telling me MMO should be nominated for Game of the Year, yet you can't name the MMOs it should be.
Look,
and you're telling me that you don't know who's voting on the awards when it's public.
Straight up with me, disrespecting me. You see it in his eyes.
I went through the system where I would go through his episodes that I watched growing up, and I went, you know what? If he says the game's really bad, I'm going to buy it when it's dirt cheap just to see if he's bullshitting me or not. And so far, I've been right so far. I only, like I said in my last episode, only picked up The Walking Dead Survival Instinct just because I saw his episode shitting on it. So I went, picked it up for $9 when it was dirt cheap, played it, ended up loving it. And then I went, whoa, how many other games was he wrong about that are actually really good? So I saw his review of The Order 1886 when it came out, had it kept in the back of my mind while I was doing other stuff, and then later on when the game was cheap for only $20, picked up a copy, and yeah, once again, I'm so glad that he was wrong again. I mean, so much of my collection has been built based on that, and I have not been disappointed with the game yet. The Order 1886 is really fun. This game reminded me of when I was on the PS3 when that first came out, and it reminded me back to my very first PlayStation original love. Well, I guess second, Uncharted. This game reminded me of Uncharted, and by that I mean the way you move, the sliding behind cover, the gun physics. The shooting and slide behind cover is done just like Uncharted, and even some of the climbing is Uncharted, but to a simpler degree. It's Uncharted if it was simple and more story-based. This literally feels like you're playing a cinematic story. You're playing an adventure about monsters and wolves and hunters, which also grew very addictive. The story got my attention. I like the story. I love the character you play as, and I love the gameplay. It made me feel like, yeah, I'm playing a next-gen PlayStation exclusive. They nailed it. I would have been happy as shit if this was the game I got with my PS4 when the PS4 first came out. If my PS4 came with this, I would have been more than happy and had the highest hopes for this console. This game is great, it's solid, the visuals are beautiful, the gameplay is amazing, and the story is very intriguing and makes you wonder. Yes, I've heard the complaints by people saying that the ending is what ruined it for them, because this whole game feels like it was just the first level or just the teaser to the actual game. And to that I say, yeah, you're right, it is. This game is just the first chapter, the first part of the story. This game is just the prologue, the intro to a much bigger world we are about to dive into. And I love that regardless. The only thing that ending upsetting me was about that the game was so good I wanted more. That's the only thing that ending upsets me about. I always hope that there's going to be a new one coming out soon done just like this in the style, but still nothing but just maybes. I hope one day they actually do make The Order 1887 and we can continue this beautiful story. No joke, Ready at Dawn, if you guys are continuing this, I'll be there day one on release. I am all out ready for The Order 1886 to continue. And still to this day, I'm always taking a look online, on the websites. Every single time I go online, I take a look at these guys down here who made this game, at the news for this game, and I'm always reading articles each and every so often, hoping that we will get a sequel to this beauty. But all I hear so far is nothing but a whole bunch of maybes and we don't know. I've heard the complaints, and for the most part you're right. This was just a start. This was the start of something beautiful. And I know it would have just gone better from here if people for once stopped just shoving things up their ass and having such high expectations and enjoy things for what they were. But I guess it's true what they say. This is why we can't have good things. And like usual, if you're the type of high contrarian critic that can't accept the game for what it is, as it is, or any project for that matter, movie or media, and simply accept it for what it is, as it is, for the simple joy it is, and have to be all high contrarian about it, well, then simply, with all due respects, fuck off.
11 doesn't satisfy me. There should be 10,000